Hi everyone, welcome to Hue Spotlight. Well, it is so lovely to have Katrina back here on Hue Spotlight. And also, more importantly, congratulations, you have a new album, Only Love, and it's beautiful. But more importantly, you are coming out as a jazz artist.
Oh.
Do I stand corrected? No?
No, Tracy, thank you so much. It's taken me a while to kind of make that. I kind of tease about it that I've come over to the jazz side, you know,
Yes.
that and I've been singing jazz music for a long time, but I finally can say that this is the genre that I just really want to align myself with, and I love the music, and I just want to bring tribute to that beautiful jazz songbook and finally be able to just really celebrate that music and celebrate it publicly as an artist and say, here I am, I'm a jazz artist on the Canadian music scene.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what was there a moment? Was there a song that it just went a light bulb in your head that jazz is it?
Well, you know, I remember being, even as an educator, hearing jazz groups perform, and just the harmonies and just the colors in the music are so gorgeous as a younger person. And then even having jazz music playing around my home as a young teenager. But then really, as I met some jazz artists on the Winnipeg music scene through some other people, and I would watch them perform, and I remember going into some different restaurants and seeing a certain jazz piano player I know who would sit there and just play and entertain, and I thought, I want to do that. It just lit me up. I got so excited about it. And I know a lot of people would think, oh, you know, you just want to go in there and enjoy your meal. And I'm like, no, I want to be behind that piano. That's what I want to do. So it just kind of really lit me up at the thought of being able to bring joy to people, be able to bring forth abilities and gifts that I feel I have, and then share it with people and put a smile on their face and help them to. Sometimes a certain song will say, oh, I've had people say, oh, that's my wife's favorite song. Thank you for performing it. And, you know, those kinds of things. It just really brings a beautiful experience for people during their dining or actually just a concert experience. And my husband once said to me, you know, what makes you want to do this? And I said, he said, it's almost like you're tapping into the profound when you are able to create music and share it with people. So it goes beyond me. I'll put it that way, Tracy, if that makes sense.
No, it's a gift.
Yeah.
So making this new album must have been different for you.
Well, it was, Tracy, and I kind of share that it's almost intimidating when performing my own music. It's new and different, and people don't have anything to compare it to.
Right.
But when you're bringing music that other people are from the 1930s or 40s or 50s, and they're like, I remember that song. That's her take on that song, and you kind of feel you want to give honor to the original creators of the song, and you're coming up against all these amazing jazz greats who have performed it before you, and you're performing it. So I'm like, oh, I hope I give it justice.
Oh, yeah. So what's your favorite one on the
Of
album?
the songs, I have to admit, one of my favorite songs is the song Skylark, created by Hoagie Carmichael, and it's actually the first track on the album. And I remember the first time I heard it, I'd heard another Winnipeg artist perform it, and I didn't know that I thought it was her original, and I was just so taken by it. And then I found out that it was actually a jazz standard from the 1920s, and I just fell in love with it. It's so beautiful, and it's just so magical. The lyrics talk about, is there somewhere where someone's waiting to be kissed, asking Skylark, take me to my love who's waiting for me somewhere, is there that person? Take me there, I'll fly on your wings. And it's just the lyrics are very romantic. And I think it brings alive that kind of that little girl princess in me. So if that makes sense, I love that.
Yes.
When people say, "Oh, you're like a queen," I'm like, "No, I'm a princess." Like
I'll take the demotion.
So.
So question for you.
Yes.
You've fallen in love with this whole old era of jazz.
Yes.
Compare it now to today's pop music.
Right. Well, I have to admit, I think pop music is really cool, and I can appreciate it, and I can appreciate the rhythm and the beat, and it makes you feel like moving. But I think jazz can do that too, you know, and I think it's just when you listen to the language that they use in the jazz music, like some of the music that I created to go on this album has language that's of that time, like, oh, you're swell, and you know, or you know, kind of like you're neat, you know, these sorts of things that are not necessarily language that we'd use now. You're the top, oh, you know, you're the big cheese, I want to give you a squeeze, and you know, and all this kind of stuff that's very cheeky for that time. But and I think pop music of the day has their own take on it might be, I'll say this, Tracy, pop music I think tends to be a little more direct in what it's saying, and sometimes jazz music tends to kind of dance around it a little bit. It's still equally as sexy and with innuendo, but not as direct, because it's of that time where it's, but I imagine maybe in that time it was seen, whoa, that's edgy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
You know, like, but now it just, but.
So with the new album does mean, you know, performing, and you've had a lot of experience performing, but do you still get nervous?
You know, that's a great question, Tracy. I think when I speak to different artists, like for example, Carl Kohut, who performed upright bass on my album, and he has so much performing experience across Canada, studying in New York, performing there. And one of the songs that he does a solo on the album, and there's no guitar, there's only him and no piano. And I told him at the recording session that, Carl, you're going to be doing, this is a bass, only bass, and then the drum's going to join later. And he said, oh, I'm glad you didn't tell me earlier, because I would have gotten nervous. And I thought, wow. So if Carl can get nervous at the thought that, yeah, I'm going to be hitting the stage or doing something, I think that when you're prepared, you don't feel, you get those butterflies and that excitement, but I think we have to kind of recognize that butterflies and excitement could be seen as nervousness, but I think it's healthy to have it. Because it sort of,
it gets
gets you going. And I know you can probably relate as well, Tracy, like with every show, it's like, oh, this is a new experience. Got new guests on, and you know, and
new stories,
and it all comes to you and what you're going to ask, and just, you don't have any notes here, you're just going off the top, so it's amazing.
Now you mentioned Carl, so you do have the cream of the crop playing on your album.
I am so blessed, Tracy, I have to say. Carl Kohut on upright bass, Larry Roy doing guitar, and he is just such a neat person, and everything he touches just seems to turn to gold, you know, and I'm just so delighted to have him doing guitar throughout. And then Jim Johnston, a seasoned jazz musician, military drummer, who's, this is the 4th album that I've recorded with him, so he knows me well, I know him, and he kind of knows what I want before I even need to necessarily verbalize it completely. He'll say, do you want a Latin feel on this, or are we doing a medium swing? And let's go with that.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it is.
And you do have originals on this album too.
I do. There are 11 songs in total. 6 of them are my own, and 5 of them are the jazz standards. And I wanted to have a balance, because I'm thinking too in terms of what other jazz artists do, and I look at, you know, I'm trying to follow after the best. You know, well, what did they do? What did Aaron Prop do here? Or what did Amber Epp do? How are they, like, how did they put their albums together? And they would always have at least a certain number of jazz standards, but not as many as the originals. So you have just
enough to tease.
Just enough to tease, and enough to let them know that you know what you're doing, and that you can give your own take and own flair on some of these beautiful songs.
Wow, well, it's so special, and it's so wonderful, you know, to talk to an artist that has found her voice, but now will you change maybe in another year or two into something else?
Well, that's, you know what, I haven't arrived yet, Tracy, in this front, I'll have to say still, because I'm still developing, being in truthfulness, coming from the crossover side over to jazz. So I'm still really working, singing in the lower registers, which I really am enjoying, as well as, you know, just kind of the massaging of the lyrics the way jazz artists do. So I can work on this for the rest of my life, and I hope to arrive. I don't even know if I will. So,
Wow.
so that's what
Well,
I mean.
enjoy the ride.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Now we are going to hear from you, so I'm going to let you set up the song. What are you going to play for us?
Thank you so much. I am playing for you the song called Only Love, and it is the title track of the album, and it talks about just that it's really, to me, it's only love that we really need. It's the leading light. It's what fills us. It's what gives us connection with other human beings. It's what just, it's our driving force. So I just feel that when we have love, then everything else is going to work out. So, and this is the last track on this album, but I just, it's one of the first ones that I wrote, and I really hope people enjoy it.
Well, I'm sure they will. It is Only Love by Katrina Van Humbeck, and here she is.
Only love, it's the most important thing. Can take this heart of mine and teach it how to sing. Only love can bring right out of a wrong, turning these broken pieces into a lovely song. I'm skipping stones across the waters of my life. I'm making wishes on the stars that shine at night. I'm rolling dice and hoping for a perfect score. I'm tossing coins and a wishing while searching for more. Searching for more. Searching for more. Ooh, but only love, it's the path that leads to you. Fixing this heart of mine forever to be true. It's only love, only love, it's only love. It's only love that I want to give to you. I'm stapling stones across the waters of my life. I'm making wishes on the stars that shine at night. I'm rolling dice and hoping for a perfect score. I'm tossing coins and a wishing while searching for more. Searching for more. Searching for more. Ooh, but only love, it's the path that leads to you. Fixing this heart of mine forever to be true. It's only love, only love, it's only love. It's only